What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Web3 Rundown. And we got a lot of news to talk about today, but it's October. And if you're in the crypto world, we also call that Uptober. Some real interesting news out there. And we're going to start off talking a little bit about Uptober here. And I'm going to share my screen with everybody here and want to show this very interesting chart that breaks down a little bit about Uptober and what we're seeing with Bitcoin. So September is typically a little bit of a slow month in the crypto world. Of course, we've talked about how summer can be slow, but Joe, really, when we get into October, things start to really take off. And what's even more impressive is if the month of September closes in the green, we see some major movements in the month of October. So just highlighted here, and everyone's maybe seen this around Twitter quite a bit. This chart's been shared a ton. But if we close the month of September in the green, we have huge green months in the month of October. So really makes me bullish what the market's going to look like coming into October, especially in an election year. And, even in some of these red months in September, October always seems to turn a little bit green. So,
Yeah, I'm
Joe,
seeing the odds are with us on that chart. It looks like, 20% chance red, 80% green. But I had my eyes on February from the previous year. It looked really green there. So I'm looking forward to not only Q4, but Q1. So I'm super excited about that, especially this is the not a year yet, but like 6 months out from the halving. And that's when typically things take an elevator up.
yeah, absolutely. And we started this great close in September. We're moving into October. Everyone's kind of jazzed up, and we're just a couple days into October here, and we see a slight red correction in Bitcoin, people start to kind of freak out. But we got a lot of things going on in the world with, we have a conflict in the Middle East, and we don't want to dive too deep into that on a crypto show, but that can definitely affect the macro markets and how we look at everything. But I did pull some interesting numbers from Whale Swoosh on Twitter, Joe, talking a little bit about when's October officially start, because it's its own thing now. And I in 2017 and 2020, really officially it was in October 11th, in 21 October 5th, and in 2023 October 15th. So with that being said, we could really see that movement, that big green movement in October we're really hoping for happening kind of like in the first or second week of October. But I'm definitely here for it and excited to see how the charts grow.
Yeah, we're here and I'm excited for everyone watching now. This is the best time to pay attention to the macro news and also, to things that are not front and center, which I'll pull up now actually, because we cover a lot of things here with our rundown and a lot of people don't understand. I'm sorry. I need to show myself in the screen. Here we go. Hey, this is our second rundown. Give me a break if anyone's wondering. But yeah, I saw this news pretty interesting. PayPal enables business accounts. And I had a personal question to you. If you want to let the world know, that is, Brian, your wife runs a pretty successful business. And I found some interesting stats about PayPal. They also own Venmo that does a lot of volume. They did over $1.6 trillion in transactions in just Q3 of 2023. That's a huge number, right? And I'm not saying that's going to go over to crypto right away. But PayPal has been pretty progressive. They launched their own stablecoin. It didn't get much traction, but it's there. I wanted to see your thoughts. Would your business, if you want to give it a shout out, I don't want to ruin their name. Would they take crypto through Venmo? Would you take some MooDeng? Would you take some Doge, or would you take stables? Give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's a great call out. Yeah, my wife does run a digital business and she does it in the crochet world where she sells crochet patterns. It's actually Mama Made Minis. We'll give it a shout out. But
Yeah.
I always talk to her about it. Hey, we need to create like an NFT project where, you have a subscription service or utilize like blockchain or cryptocurrency more. Definitely with the integration and the movement, we're seeing companies like PayPal. It's gonna absolutely probably pique her interest even more. But I don't think she's ready for it yet because a lot of her clientele don't own crypto or don't really understand it. But that's kind of what we're here for, to like educate people, help people understand this crazy world we live in.
Yeah, it was an interesting article. I know a lot of people don't dive into articles themselves, but a lot of people who transacted on Venmo buying crypto, they're like, hey, we want to spend it. It's just sitting in our wallet, similar to like Robinhood. A lot of people couldn't transact on it or even take it out of their wallets. And then they found on the other side of the coin, a lot of businesses were asking, hey, when can we take crypto as payment? And it's just interesting to see that everything's kind of flowing together now. Banks, big funds, and now even small businesses is getting exciting.
All right. I want to share a very interesting tweet. We're in the crypto news here, and this is probably the first time we've seen ever where a former president, a president, has its own whitelist. So Donald Trump came out with an absolutely amazing tweet here that he promised to make America great again, this time with crypto. And World Liberty Fi, that we talk about all the time within our community, has a whitelist. Very interesting. Just had to call this out for everyone because you don't see every day where a former president of the United States has a whitelist available for his upcoming crypto project. In addition to that, it looks like it's only for accredited investors in the
Hmm.
US. Joe, have you dived into it at all?
No, I'm interested to see what the requirements are for the whitelist. I don't think we should fade, what Donald Trump does. You never know. Elections happening, it can do well.
Absolutely. And not only can his crypto project do well, but there's a tons of other crypto projects out there. One in particular, we have to talk about meme coins, right?
Yeah, yeah, I can start it off here because this is kind of we both live in this world. I know we text each other throughout the days talking about meme coins. And one thing that we mentioned NFTs for Bitcoin network doing well, but the meme coins have been absolutely popping off with the number one meme coin dog go to the moon, pretty much tripling since the bottom here. And they've been followed by, a lot of other meme coins also. Pretty unique to Bitcoin is that meme coins right now is only showing on Magic Eden on the Bitcoin network. Hopefully in the future that changes to, encompass Solana and Base or whatnot. But Bitcoin's really doing some really cool stuff with the runes ecosystem. That's what the meme coins are called on Bitcoin's called runes. They have a bid ask system nowadays where, if you look on the right-hand side here, there's a place bid section. That wasn't available the last week that we talked. So that was just implemented now and right at the right time. People are bidding. They want, more features, more functionalities, and that's coming on board and just speaks on why meme coins on Bitcoin networks moving up. So yeah, do you have any thoughts on Bitcoin meme coins, Brian, at all?
Yeah, I mean, we were heavily into the Rune game whenever it was first launched. I think everybody in this world was excited to see what it was going to bring. One thing I personally learned, and you and I have talked about this at length, is how the user interface was always lacking. It was more difficult. It was a lot easier to trade Solana meme coins, base meme coins, even ETH with its high gas fees. It was, easier and just a better user interface, something we are used to. Magic Eden's definitely been stepping up their game with some of these new features. And when these macro cryptos start running, really all these micro caps or meme coins, we'll call that, really start to pick up. So I'm excited. I think Dog Go to the Moon's one of the best to have. I'm a full disclosure, I'm still a holder of Dog Go to the Moon. I don't have any plans on selling it. And I do think if there's really a rune that's out right now that could get to $1 billion market cap, that's kind of the one I think could get there.
Yeah, definitely. Same boat here. Full disclosure, I do own some also. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into Bitcoin today. It is the mothership. And not only Dog Golden Moon is picking up, but every meme coin on the Bitcoin network is picking up, which is a great thing to see because if it was only Dog Golden Moon picking up, you'd be kind of scared. But a lot of people are taking positions into a lot of meme coins there. And Christie's is getting in the game too. Christie's is, launching their first ever Bitcoin sale for 50,000 British pounds. So if you got 50,000 British pounds lying around, Brian, you can get the first ever Christie's Bitcoin artwork up. And so that's just one of many news that's hitting the news for Bitcoin. There's actually a new Bitcoin standard. I'm going to give a shout out to our own YouTube channel here. We will talk NFT for now before, we kind of finagle the name a little bit. But it's a new standard. So anytime there's a new standard on a network, it has to be accepted by all the validators and whatnot and the programmers. So this is a very interesting one. It's called a parent-child provenance. It's basically linking connections together. Most people don't know this, but Bitcoin being not the oldest, the first blockchain ever, right? I would say. It doesn't have a lot of the upgrades that just Ethereum has, and Solana have. But now they're really upgrading the network. They're implementing all these new standards that allow for more storage space, and also more dynamics. You can do reveals that you couldn't do before. You can do like videos and audios in a more high def way. So that's very interesting. And one thing I wanted to peel back also is that we go deep dive into this with our community, but there's something called rare Satoshis, which makes Bitcoin a little bit, I would say, appealing for a collector's point of view. So there's a whole nother layer of collectability for not only Bitcoin NFTs, and that's the whole reason Bitcoin NFTs absolutely smashed Ethereum this last year, and they might continue to do so as the next bull run. And there's a lot of rarities based on halving events. Everyone knows about the halving events, but they don't know that you can purchase these Satoshis, these blockchains, and they have a lot of value for them. So I'm not going to dive too deep into on this rundown, but I do want to let everyone know that there's been something echoing amongst my network, and that's called Block 9 450x Sats. Not going to dive too deep into it, but what it is basically the first ever Bitcoin transaction ever. So basically the first crypto transaction ever. It was 10 Bitcoins sent from Satoshi to Hal Finney. And right now people are just going ham. They're buying up, these blocks, these Satoshis. People are even selling like one Satoshi for $7, which sounds very cheap, right? But there's 100 million of them. So I would treat this like a meme coin. If you want to deep dive into this, then join the private community to check that out. But I just want to give a shout out to what's happening in the Bitcoin world. Bitcoin is definitely going to have a spotlight soon. Once it crosses, 100,000 mark, I believe that everyone's just going to fall off the chairs. What's your thoughts on that, Brian?
Yeah, I think so too, man. I think there's a lot that has to happen there where we need Bitcoin to beat its all-time high, and then it's going to take off. The alt season's going to start. Runes, ordinals, it's going to be euphoria. We've seen it in years past and cycles past, and it's going to absolutely happen again. That's super interesting about Block 9. I love the call out where you suggest to treat it like a meme coin. I really couldn't agree more. That's really how you have to look at that project, in my opinion.
Yeah, Bitcoin, I wouldn't say is a completely different world, but like I said, it's more an education factor there now because everyone got Ethereum in front of their faces in 2021, and then Solana came on board, and then Bitcoin came as like the last wave of NFTs and the last wave of meme coins. But they did do the most volume in the bear market. But as more and more people find out, which is funny, right? Like we're still finding out about Bitcoin, and it's like 15 years later, all these things that are layered within it that it's such a like it's not going away, right? It's going to be the mothership is going to lead the way.
Absolutely. And diving into kind of like the mothership and popping off meme coins and how everything's rolling. Talk about Moondang a little bit, huh?
Oh, back up to 211. Woo!
I know. What was it at last week when we talked about it?
Ah,
It was under 100 million, right?
I made a note to say this on our rundown is that we caused the bull run on MooDeng because we talked about it on Friday the 25th. Whatever it was, then it was at like I would like to say like 60, 70 million, something like that. And
Yeah, we were absolutely watching it pretty closely there. And once it hit 100 million, it just didn't stop. It went all the way up to
mm-mm.
300 million, 330 million. Again, full disclosure, I'm a holder of it.
Yeah.
I've been kind of buying and selling in and out of it, but it doesn't seem to be losing much steam. I brought up the chart here to kind of show it to everybody. Some positive price action. Looks like a little bit of a bounce here, but why are we seeing so much money flowing into this? Well, people absolutely love this baby hippo. They can't get enough of them. I mean, there's a guy here. You sent us this earlier, Joe, that a guy fired $5 million
Yeah.
worth into Moondang. I mean, when did this happen? Just a couple days ago? Yeah.
Yes, 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago, and there was tons of news coming out over the weekend, and people were sending me this. Is that SNL actually had a sketch with them dressed up as the baby hippo? So absolutely ridiculous stuff here, but this is how memes catch mainstream. You see something go viral, SNL starts picking it up, people in the media start talking about it, major networks start talking about it, and really the community forms around it and people really start to have fun. A meme coin gets created and it runs to hundreds of millions of dollars. Joe, what are the chances this thing gets to a billion?
You're gonna have to go inside and to get a deep dive because I want to hold back some alpha here. But definitely just look at the chart. It's consolidating nicely. Like it didn't plummet like a lot of other meme coins do because it's a really real organic meme coin. It's not a made up dog or a made up cat. I'm not saying bad things about other memes, but it's gonna have a lot of viral uptick as more happens with this hippo because it has a 24-hour live stream and it's always doing funny things. So definitely, I would say, it has a over 50% chance of hitting a billion dollar network, and I'm being, I'm holding myself slightly back there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could do real well. It feels like it's one of those meme coins. There's, 10, 20 of them out there that really have this following. I mean, even like Dog with Hat. We talked about this on the show last week. That pumped up to 220 billion, I believe. So it really started moving. It's kind of funny how all the most popular meme coins are these like baby animals, baby hippo, baby dog. We just kind of like gravitate to things that kind of make us feel good and tell a good story. With that being said, do you have any idea what MooDeng stands for?
Yeah, darn. I just read this the other day. It's Chinese, and I should know this because I'm Chinese. I'm trying to translate it now. It's in Mandarin. I don't have it off the top of my head, but definitely something. Oh, chubby, something chubby. Chubby happiness. Chubby fat. Okay, I'm horrible. Which I'm gonna look it up on Google right now while you talk about Moonshot.
Well, I need to fact check it. Fact check me while you do that. I'm going to bring up talking a little bit about Moonshot, but bouncy pork is what I read. And it just made me
Bouncy
laugh
pork,
out
that's what it
loud.
was.
I'm like,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course this baby hippo is named Bouncy Pork. But something that's really been making these memes take off, everybody, is the introduction. This has been around for a few months now, is Moonshot. And you can download it in the Google Play Store. You can download it in the Apple Store. And I'm just showing a quick screenshot of their Twitter page here. Just you can really just buy Solana meme coins as quick and easy as I never even realized how quick and easy it was. You and I are both kind of we utilize as much as we can with utilizing, Phantom Wallet, Jupiter Exchange, but I kind of went down the rabbit hole with Moonshot here, and you can see I brought up another tweet that Solana is even tweeting it out. And this says it best: lightning fast onboarding, zero to funded wallet in 12 seconds. When I saw this tweet, Joe, I was like, I absolutely have to see how this works. And I actually downloaded it just today. Super easy. I mean, super intuitive. Like you're putting any app in your app store. You can pay with Google Play, you can pay with Apple Pay, credit cards, debit cards, crypto. And one thing I wanted to call out the Moonshot for everybody, I've started to see there's a little bit of alpha. If you can catch a coin that could be listed on Moonshot or kind of get wind that one's listed or catch it early, it seems to 5, 10, 20x right away. So I've actually really been kind of moving my strategy, keeping eyes on some of these coins that could be listed on Moonshot, because it feels like a lot of people are getting onboarded into crypto that want to get into meme coins. This is the easiest path to buy those.
Yeah, that's a good call out because, typically is when things go on major exchanges is when things pop off. But this could be seen as an exchange because Apple has so much visibility. And one thing I wanted to, shout out to our chubby porky friend there is that uh, Moonshot, anyone who uses Moonshot, 100% of the trading fees will be donated to the Cow Keo Open Zoo. So my mistake. I do apologize. It's not a Chinese hippo. It's a Thai. It's a Thai hippo. Maybe that's why I couldn't understand the translation. But yeah, I saw Moonshot this on his website, and then my friend started texting me about Moonshot, and we just started talking about Moonshot together as an interesting play. And I downloaded myself. It would be interesting to see if there's a arbitrage opportunity. I wonder if the pricing is different for whatever it is featured on Moonshot versus going to a decentralized exchange. One thing we do know is these centralized exchanges supposedly is less fees. So that's something I'll watch out for. But just the simplicity of buying meme coins is really what helps meme coins take off. And a part of the reason that MooDeng took off was because it was listed on a Bybit. Not on Coinbase yet, not on Binance yet, not financial advice. But once those things happen, then MooDeng is going to be at another level.
Yeah, we saw a pretty similar big move. As you know, I'm a dog with hat holder, and when it got listed on Gemini, there was a huge move in the market there. And I don't think they could with the fees being generated around Moondang and these meme coins, I don't think they're going to be able to not list it. There's just too much money to be earned there. So really interested to see. And one other call out about Moonshot, I was just thinking about when we were talking about it, is do you know, like when you go into Deck Screener or even sometimes when you use Jupiter, that there's multiple names of the same coin, like Moondang with a lowercase d, with an uppercase d. So you have to be very careful you're buying the correct coin. And it's something we talk about within our private community, how to identify and give tips there. But for somebody that's not getting that information on a daily or weekly basis or isn't in tuned, you could really, cause yourself some distress by buying the wrong coin. Moonshot, I don't think whenever I was looking through it, they had a Moondang, but there was only one Moondang. It was the actual official Moondang. So I think that will even further intensify the trading because people just feel more confident that they're getting the right coin, even if it doesn't, shoot off as 100x. At least like nobody wants to get rugged on the wrong contract. That's like one of the worst feelings in the world.
Yeah, last week you talked about how Nero was on two different networks, and the wrong one was sent out by a news article, and that one is actually in a higher market cap now. So definitely, having at least one, a prerequisite checked off is important. But I would, hopefully listeners understand that meme coins is its own world. You really got to be in tune with the ebbs and flows, the volume that's being transacted, and what the macro news is alongside of what the holders are doing on a, but I wouldn't say by second basis, but on a daily basis. And so definitely that's something to keep an eye out for is don't just get into these meme coins and not know, about the macro news. You definitely want to hear the details and know when to get in and out of these tokens, which we cover. Cool. I think we can wrap up with giving everyone a sneak peek of how our trade alerts did. I know we had some winners last week with NFL all day. You just messaged me right before we got on, and you're like, "Hey Joe, I haven't sold all of them. Now they're sitting at 300%." I'm like, "Great, I should have held on because I sold it for like a 200% gain." But shout out to you. Are you selling?
No, I don't think so. I have a handful of packs left. My caught what were they, $9 each. Now they're selling for about 30. So I would almost automatically sell anything at a 3x. That's a guilty pleasure number of mine. But I'm hoping I have that Marvin Harrison one of one. Every day I go on, I believe it's Own the Moment. You told me about the website and look to see if it's been found yet. I
It's
just
actually been found.
no. Is it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it say
Which
zero
is
one?
surprising. Here, I'm showing you right now on my screen. So, which is why I'm surprised it went up even higher, which is like usually that doesn't happen. When someone gets an ultra rare, then usually the pack value drops, but this pack value went up. And I think it's because of
Look at
Jaden
that.
Daniels. So Jaden Daniels, if you don't know, for those who don't know, who don't play fantasy football, Jaden Daniels has been balling out, and his NFT went up 100%. It's $123 now, which is why people don't mind gambling. They're willing to pay $30 if they could have a chance of getting Jaden Daniels. So right now, the odds of getting a Jaden Daniel, I would say, is about 10%. And people are trying to play those odds, and not only Jaden Daniels, but like Caleb Williams, who's going for a $90. That's one thing I love about this website. Malik Neighbors has been showing out for New York, and his value jumped up. So people are like, you know what? I like these top four rookies. Marvin Harrison, shout out to him also. I know I interrupted you there, but he's on my fantasy team, so I got to talk about him in our company league. And so his value's been jumping up also because he's been showing out also, and that's kind of like why this value jumped up to higher than it was $9 pack, right?
Yeah, $9 pack, and I'm kind of bummed out. I see that the one of one Marvin Harrison has been found. That's so crazy that the price has been climbing like it has been. Well, I was just assuming that because people were just looking for that card, but you're right, Jalen Daniels. I would love a Jalen Daniels. I was glued to that game this weekend. He looks like the real deal, and if any sports fans out there who love Web3. I think that's a great way to have a little bit of fun is go down the NFL all day streets and, buy up some of your favorite players and trade them accordingly.
Yeah, it just shows that how the space is evolving, how the dynamics of the NFTs within platforms like NFL All Day and other collectibles really tie in with the macro news, believe it or not, right? And you can there's strategies for people who are absolutely crushing it. And I'll just go over, a few of our trade alerts this last week where, people could have done really, really well had they just, entered themselves into a raffle, I like to call it. They're winning raffle tickets. So there was 4 NFT drops this last week. We're switching over now. We're switching over to WNBA. Went from NFL, now we're going to WNBA. And they had their final season drop. And I sent out a trade alert to our private community and I said, buy each and every single one of these, however many you can get your hands on. And just look at the ROI column. 20%, 142%, 86%, all different percentages, right? Very interesting, though, is that the ROI with the lowest percentage is actually the highest moneymaker if you can get your hands on them because it was the easiest to get your hands on, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, that's amazing. You've made some great call outs. My goodness, for the last few packs. Why is the WNBA popping off as much as it has been?
Well, WNBA itself has signed a new $10 billion contract with Disney. And then Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the new players come from college, have more visibility because of NIL deals, which is, college sponsorship nowadays. So basically just visibility overall on athletes has come over to WNBA. WNBA has slowly been implementing, strategies, marketing strategies. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm a big WNBA fan nowadays because of NFTs, believe it or not, because of Web3. They have a new commissioner that did really good work to bring attention on WNBA. And that spilled over to collectibles. A lot of people really want to collect the top ones. And I'll show you one in particular, which is why it's boosting up the value of these collectibles. But I have to give a shout out for NBA Top Shot here is because they're really playing the dynamics of the macro news. Like people like sports, people like, what's in the news now. And that's why fantasy does well. That's why sports betting is huge now. And I read some articles where people are doing more sports betting than traditional investing nowadays, which is absolutely bonkers. And that's another reason WNBA is doing well. But in particular to this specific NFT drop, is just simply supply and demand. And that's something great about blockchain. With a lot of NFT drops, you don't get to see supply and demand. Some of them do, like let's say Donald Trump's pre-order, his whitelist is oversubscribed. Let's say there's 1 million people that wants to get into Donald Trump's whitelist, but there's only 10,000 spots available. Well, a lot of that could be fake. The difference with NBA Top Shot is you got to put your money where your mouth is. So we see NFT companies doing this also, where they're implementing like a small down payment, I would say, right? So an NBA Top Shot is called a pre-order. You actually have to put a hold on your credit card, believe it or not. So if you wanted to participate in this drop, you had to put a hold on your credit card. And hundreds of thousands of people have done that. So you can see actual demand. And that's kind of what, we look at. We look at these metrics. Not only that, some of these demands, they don't take off, but these ones particularly, a lot of them have done well. So I was lucky enough to get one of these and made some money. My friend made about $700 just for clicking a few mouse buttons. He knows nothing about the WNBA. He's like, Joe, should I get these packs? I'm like, yeah, go for it. He goes, yeah, I got one. He got this one right here, made $600 just selling this one pack, right? And he didn't even open it, just sold it within 1 day. And yeah, so going back to the point, the reason that this trade right here is only $1 profit, but you were able to get thousands of these packs, believe it or not. Because no one was buying it, they didn't understand the demand and the reason for demand. There was a lot left. There's actually 25,000 of these available. So imagine, NFT wise, if you can get like a lot of inventory that would sell in a secondary market. So just to show you that, let me see if I have it pulled up. Oh, I do. So the great thing about this website is it shows you the blockchain information, which is just all public anyways, but just makes it visible. There's over close to 3,000 sales in the last few days since it's been out, which is a lot of volume, And the reason people want this, oh, sorry if I'm scrolling too much, is like we mentioned, there's a couple of players that moved the needle. And this one right here, if I could find it, right here. So a lot of people didn't know this. I even had to dig deep. So this is the #1 Caitlin Clark Top Shot debut. It's hidden within this pack. And that is why everyone is paying, I wouldn't say premium, but just imagine the #1 Michael Jordan, the #1 LeBron James, the #1 Steph Curry. They put the #1 Caitlin Clark, the first NFT ever for Caitlin Clark ever, in this $5 pack, which is like the cheapest pack you can get, right? So everyone kind of glossed over this and was like, these packs typically hold nothing. But little did they know that the #1 NFT for Caitlin Clark is in there.
So if I'm looking at this correctly, so there's 7 of 20 still available, and one of those 7 is the number one serial number of Caitlin Clark, correct?
Exactly.
Man, I want to buy some of these packs. Not financial advice, but that's just fun. I have a guilty pleasure of like ripping physical and digital packs. That's kind of why I still have those rookie debut moments I couldn't sell even at a 3X because I'm just like, ooh, what's in there? We all love that sense of a lottery rip.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you like, and you never know. You can rip something, really valuable, and you'd be super excited. So yeah, that's another gamification for these sports collectibles that are really exciting. And that's what people love about regular NFTs also, because that exists in regular NFT world where you could reveal an ultra rare NFT like a bored ape, a golden skin bored ape that's worth, a lot of money.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Well, great trade alert there, Joe. I know you've definitely been knocking it out of the park with those recently, so we'll definitely have more to share with everybody. But that's it for the Web3 rundown. We'll see you everyone next week.
Yeah. See you guys next week.